Do you want to be financially independent? No? Oh, okay. I think there's a video somewhere around here that you can click into if that's the case. But if you do want to be financially independent, stay locked in, as we're going to discuss the FIRE movement. What's up, you guys? You're watching BTP Fusion. If this is your first time watching us, I'm your host, Derek West. For all the rest of you, welcome back. So a lot of people are really interested in retiring early and being financially independent. I mean, who isn't? When you have all the money you need to do what you really want to do, no matter what that is, then you can truly follow your path to find true happiness in your life. You can live life on your schedule. You can accept opportunities without being desperate for money just to pay for necessities like groceries and food, a roof over your head, basic transportation needs, and some rudimentary entertainment for when you become bored. What, you don't like watching BTP Fusion? If you want, you can essentially fire, pun intended, your boss. Tell him he can take a hike. Tell him he can take this job with all the internal politics, unreasonable deadlines, and unnecessary red tape, and shove it where the sun don't shine, so to speak. Depending on how you do it, you can travel the world, meeting new people, learning new cultures, experiencing the good things that the world offers, and seeing all the places that you really wanted to see without worrying about the credit card bill that will come due, and how you'll pay for it when the fun has been had. You can pursue your hobbies and true interests and really master them without worrying necessarily about monetizing them to pay for your next meal. This all sounds like bubblegum and soda pop, right? How can this actually be achieved? You know that right now you need a job just to survive and pay the mortgage, school for the kids, all their hobbies, right? Right? So by now, you're probably thinking this is just going to be another video about squeezing the juice out of every last nickel and living the van life for 10 years while you save up all the money from your $35,000 a year job. Well, sir, you might be incorrect. In all honesty, it really depends on you and your circumstances. And that being said, this is where the FIRE movement comes in. And to be honest, it's taking the internet by storm. Now, is it just another fad financial movement for people who like Tony Robbins conferences? Or is it something more? FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. A simple acronym for a simple yet powerful concept. Early retirement is the literal definition of the FIRE movement. That being said, there's a much more robust meaning when you start digging into the principles behind FIRE. Namely, it's about flexibility. Tanja Hester, author of Work Optional, Retire the Non-Penny Pinching Way, one of the seminal tomes of the FIRE movement, sums it up by saying, and I paraphrase, financial independence ultimately means that you can shape your life without taking money into consideration. She goes on to say, most of us have to consider our finances in nearly every decision we make, or maybe even make decisions solely based on money. But once we reach financial independence, we get the freedom not to be bossed around by what we earn or what we have saved. When you think about retirement age, you're probably thinking of someone in the late 50s or 60s. And there's a reason for that. It's kind of the norm. It's been kind of programmed into our heads by society in general. As an example, the Social Security Administration allows you to start taking benefits at age 62. And you can start withdrawing money from your individual retirement account, IRA, without a penalty at age 59 and a half. And for the average person, that means more than 40 years of your life are spent essentially working for someone else. Even if you become CEO of the company you work for, or start a company that succeeds, you essentially have financial obligations that must be met. And you must save up a significant portion of your income if you hope to achieve that retirement. And that brings us to one of the principles of the FIRE movement. FIRE is more about financial independence at any age than about retiring early. It's more about choosing the freedom to choose to work or not. It doesn't make any claim that working a 9 to 5 is bad for you. Its claim is that you should be able to choose if you want to or not. And you can position yourself to do just that if you take a few principles to heart. One of those principles is to have your net worth 25 times your annual expenses. That is FIRE's definition of financial independence. In other words, if you spend $40,000 a year, you are financially independent when your net worth is $1 million. Stated in a more concrete month-to-month sort of example, if you spend $3,333 a month on all of your expenses, then you are financially independent if your net worth is approximately $1 million, as $3,330 per month is roughly $40,000 in expenses a year. And that takes us to the rules behind FIRE. It starts with one that I'm sure we've all heard of and try to do on a daily basis. Spend less than you earn, and this is the key, save the difference in low-fee investments like index funds. That one is almost a no-brainer, but it can be hard to achieve in real life if you aren't paying attention or didn't learn this stuff early on. Other investments can play a role as well. including things like rental properties and passive income streams such as dividend yielding stocks. But the idea is to have low fee, even no fee investments on autopilot that essentially rake the dough in while you sleep. An equally key piece to this is being frugal with the money you spend. The less money you spend, the less money you need to live. The less money you need to save in order to fund the rest of your years. So, a quickie example. For every $100 per month that you trim, you will need $30,000 less of a net worth. So in our example, if you were able to save $300 per month by limiting not only your cable, but your Netflix, your Hulu Plus, and just sticking with free YouTube channels like this one, like and subscribe, you would need $90,000 less of a net worth. In other words, you only need a $910,000 net worth, which would essentially be 2 to 5 rental properties, depending on where you live. The goal is to put space between expenses and income. The more distance you put between your expenses and your income is how much time it takes you to achieve financial independence. Now the rules are kind of stupid simple. The difficulty on fire, just like anything else, is on the execution. Like with a lot of things, it's about your behavior and your lifestyle choices. Is leasing that BMW really the right thing you should be doing? Do you really need a 10,000 square foot luxury mansion? Does that wild vacation to the Maldives make sense right now? What about your charcoal toothpaste subscription? Wouldn't it be much easier to buy Crest in bulk from Costco? By the way, if you want to learn how buying in bulk and prepping your meals can lead to financial independence, take a look at a video I did on the topic right here. In FIRE, you want to ask yourself, why do you want to retire early? It really is all about your lifestyle choices. To be able to do this successfully, you need to understand why you want to do it. Do you want to lay around all day and just watch daytime television or binge Netflix? Do you just hate your job and you just want to tell your boss to shove it? Honestly, both of those are bad motivators and likely will lead you to giving up on your dreams. Plenty of research, and it's just general common sense, tells you that a positive goal that you envision yourself being or becoming is a better motivator than a negative goal, such as hating your job or hating your boss. But that being said, maybe you want to quit your job to instead work on a business that you always talked about with your friends. Or perhaps you just want more than 2 weeks of vacation to really take time to relax and be yourself. And then come back to whatever challenges you have, renewed and refreshed with an energy and perspective, ready to really go after the challenge with full vigor. Maybe taking a 6-month, 9-month unpaid sabbatical. Come back refreshed and renewed and able to more fully participate in your job function. You need to ask yourself these questions. And then when you answer that question for yourself, you have the why. Once you have the why, you need the how. How can you achieve this? Begin by identifying what you want to do in 5, 10, 20 years. Where do you want to be geographically? What do you want your surroundings to be? Do you want to live in the mountains? Close to the beach? In a desert paradise? In a cityscape with like-minded idealists? Next step, track your expenses. Check out your bank statements, credit card statements, online budgets, and take note of what exactly you're spending your money on and whether or not those purchases add anything of value to your life. I bet you'll come back and be shocked at what you actually spend. Now, I know I was. I thought I was living quite frugally actually until I started tracking my spending and seeing where it was really going. Once you go through the initial shock of how much you spend on a monthly basis, then figure out what you can begin to cut out. The easy stuff will be things you didn't know you were spending money on and that aren't providing any value to you. The next hardest thing will be things that you intentionally spend money on. You have to ask yourself, do I really need this month to month? I'll go back to my previous example. Do you really need Netflix, Hulu Plus, and Amazon Prime? Why not just find great content on free sites like YouTube when you're not thinking of your next side hustle? I, of course, recommend my channel. Like and subscribe. But do the same breakdown for all of your other spending. Maybe you really love BMW or Tesla or Audi, and you just have to have one. Well, buy used. Let the suckers pay the premium and lose 35% as they drive off the lot. Purchase it from them 2 to 3 years later and pocket the difference in your net worth. So take a look at this video of someone else driving their BMW, get a $15,000 used Honda, and save and invest the difference. Next step, look at your housing costs. You want to make sure that you're not house poor and that your housing expenses match your lifestyle goals. Nope, this doesn't mean living in the hood. But maybe you don't need a 6-bedroom mansion with 12-foot vaulted ceilings. Be very careful about accumulating multiple, tiny monthly costs. Eventually they all add up. Lower your tax liability by maxing out your tax-deferred vehicles such as your 401k, 457, 403b, IRA, HSA, the list goes on and on. Minimize your cell phone bill. maybe consider pay-as-you-go services, some listed in the links in the description. Use credit card rewards and smart financial habits to help fund your travel. Reduce your grocery bill. Please see my video on the topic in the description and in the bar above. Think about ways of increasing your income and possibly add multiple income streams. Also, invest via low-cost index funds. Use the 4% rule, the ultimate equation behind achieving financial independence. If your nest egg is growing at a healthy 5 to 8% yearly, and you can safely withdraw 4% from said nest egg each year to cover your yearly expenses, you are truly financially independent, because that's a 1% spread. So, what do you think? Don't forget to click like and subscribe, plus the notification bell, as we drop great videos on tech, business, and personal finance every week. We'll talk to you guys next time. Stay frosty. Peace.